the new Necron Canoptek Reanimator. I'm going to show you how I LED'd and built this thing here on Modeled. Hi there, Modeled here, and today I'm going to work on the new Necron unit, Canoptek Reanimator. Now this thing basically just helps, gets a bonus to 1 unit of troops that's within range of it for the reanimation protocols. So all these new models are snap to fit. So it makes it kind of a little bit more difficult to convert and stuff like that. So I'm just, you know, like I got complaints from my last models that the wires are showing it mad, and I did that on purpose. I originally intended to hide the wires, but then I gave up because I thought it would be too much work to do all the mass army like that. So but now that my army, my main part of the army is already built, now I could just take my time with the model. So now I'm going to try and make the wires less noticeable and hide them. So I was trying to figure out how I'm going to LED this thing. And I just want to give each of these new models some kind of LED going, and it looks kind of tough for some of these models, how I would LED it. So for this thing, I was just thinking just to put 2 blinking LEDs in the center there, 1 on each side, and that should be good like that. 2 slow flashing LEDs like I got on my breadboard right there. So I think that's what I'm going to start off with. That'll be my first project with this new thing. Just start off with a drill bits a little bit smaller, or just almost the same size as the LED. And just gonna see if that fits in there. Yeah, it fits pretty good. The other one. Now I'm just gonna have to cut these on these LEDs. Always the positive has the longer end on it. You could also tell the negative has like a little shoe inside it. But just so I don't make a mistake in the future, I'm painting red on the positive. I'm going to cut these leads really short so I could solder them together, because they got to go like this. Sorry for that noise. Okay, I got my caliper here. I'm just going to measure how far the LEDs are going to stick out, and it's about to the edges of there. Okay, so now I gotta figure out how I'm gonna cut my LEDs. So tip to the tip. I like that. Looks good. So I'll just cut all the LEDs like that. Yeah, I just marked it with a little black paint there where I gotta cut them. then they're going to be soldered red to red. Okay. Okay, when doing this, it's like you don't want to put this iron on it too long, because it could burn out the LED, right? So you want to, and this is probably going to absorb some of the heat too, so touch it and solder, get it on there as quick as possible. Okay. I'm just going to test it to make sure it still works. So I'm going to use magnet wire this time. One of the reasons why I didn't use that last time is because this can snap, especially inside the model, and then it's not going to work anymore. So you got to be very careful with it. It burns too, so like when it could burn and just be weak and burn up. So I'd probably try to use as thick as you can. This is a 0.3 millimeter. That's all I have, so I'm going to use this. And you got to take the coating off this wire at the tips. And I don't know, you can burn it off. Sometimes you can stick it through solder and it comes off, but for some reason, the kind I got won't do it. So you could use the back side of an X-Acto is what I'm doing to try to scrape it off. Just try to be careful because you could snap the wire like I just did there. Okay, here we go. Let's see how this fits in. I think that's alright. Don't want to close it yet. I don't want to damage these wires, so I'm gonna carve out a little path for the wires here. I don't want to close it just yet, these snap to fit things. Okay. Looks like I didn't go in far enough. I didn't cut enough off. Fold it out. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to make the holes a little bit bigger. Okay, the act of modeling. Making mistakes. So I tried to, considering I was off on my measurements there, I made it too big. These wouldn't close, so I tried to make the hole bigger and accidentally made it way too big. I got carried away and I had to just carve it out. So how can I fix that? Well, I'm going to use putty. Got to resort to the putty. This stuff's the savior. Okay, I'm just gonna let's roll this in a little tube. Just like put it all on the inside of this thing here. Let's see what happens here. Stick that through. Okay, but there's nothing on the bottom there. I'm just going to tidy this up to make it kind of nice and smooth and neat. Actually, going to stick it through more. Okay, so you won't be able to paint inside here if you put this on. Not easily anyway, so I'm just gonna, I got all the pieces that can't go on until after the part, so I'm just gonna paint it like this and go from there. And my Necron army is like silver, my Necrons are silver, plus they got blue and purple armor types. So I want to change this up. This thinking that instead of doing this as metal, I might actually do it gold. I got some gold spray paint. Maybe I'll try that. I don't know. But I'll keep these shields probably purple like they are in the other ones. I'm gonna do that now. Before I spray paint it, I got to put some tacky putty over the LEDs. Okay, I just spray painted. Look at that gold. Doesn't that look cool? That's just flat gold spray paint. Nice. Looks pretty cool. Wish I could leave it like that, but then it wouldn't be done. You know, you gotta wash it and dry brush it. I hope the gold paint that I got is, I'm hoping it's somewhat similar to that. Okay, I just washed it with Earthshade wash from Games Workshop. Gold paint, you usually wash it with brown wash. Okay, I don't know how that's coming out on there, but I've been using Retribution armor with that gold spray paint, and it seems to match pretty well. It's looking good. Now here's what I noticed here on the legs here. I don't know if it's because I was like holding on to them or whatever, but the legs were kind of loose. Like they're still on there, but they were very wiggly and I didn't trust them, so I just took them off. I just broke them off because I'm just going to attach them more securely with some crazy glue or probably a plastic glue if I can do that. Just weld them right together. But that's a very weak joint there, so be careful when you're using. It's probably because I was holding it while I was painting the top that it got weak, but still it's very weak. But still fixable. But I'm very liking that gold, man. So I'm glad my whole army's not gold. I'll just make the few special things gold. And these are like healers, cryptic healers. So you got a better chance for your reanimation protocols, so make them gold, right? Change it up a little bit. So it's looking good, I think. Instead of showing you me painting it all the time, I'm just showing you like the finished result. I just washed them, now I just dry brushed them with that. Now I'm just gonna fix this, and then see where we go from there. Maybe edge highlight the gold, or go into the detail work now. But the thing is too, you know, I got the base color with this, so you basically do the whole base color. Even though like this part's here, I think I'm going to do silver. But I'm doing it all gold now because I'm just being sloppy. Wash it, because I spray painted it gold, so I just wash it, dry brush, and just be sloppy and dry brush the whole thing gold because most of it's gold. And then after, okay, then I could redo these parts and paint them silver. Or I could pick and choose which parts, because sometimes I might not know which parts I want to leave gold or silver at the beginning, so that's why it's good, like, just do it all and then decide after, right? So that's the way I'm doing it now. Okay, after trying to glue these guys on, I tried plastic glue, and I tried crazy glue, and I couldn't get it to stick. You know, sometimes you have that problem normally, right? I don't know if this is the same plastic, pewter or nothing. I don't know what this... I'm not too happy about snapping and going without gluing. I'd rather just have the old ways, because this is modeling, and why make it easier? Well, we like, at least I think most of us like the complex modeling. I think it's more fun anyways. But regardless, what you got to do in a good investment is this stuff. You don't have to get Army Painter brand, but it's called Super Glue Activator. And what I did, I just sprayed a little bit, instead of spraying it on the model itself, and because it's not fine-tuned, it's a spray, I just sprayed a little bit in here. And then I put the crazy glue on the ends there, and then I just dipped the part in there, in that, and then you hold it for like I swear to God, 5 seconds, and it's like stuck there. But still, I wouldn't totally trust it, but at least it's stuck there, and you could take your hand away and just let it set for a while, right? So that's what I did, and I'm not touching it. Actually, I'm not going to touch it for the rest of the night, because I think I had enough for tonight. So I'll just let that dry. So I'm hoping it's not a different kind of plastic that's immune to glues, because I'm still new to this, this new snap and fit stuff, which I do not like. And I hope it's just not, it makes it hard to convert, that's for sure. You can convert, but it seems you had more freedom with the conversions before. Now it seems like everything's like built together already, and then so if you want to convert, you really gotta like get in there and take everything apart. But I don't know, we'll see how it goes. Don't make it easier, Games Workshop. I like the conversion. I like the old days better, but I guess we got to progress. They got to try and get the newbies in there with easier modeling. But then it's like a waste of money. You spend all these money on models, and then you build it right away. It's not worth the money, right? So, anyways. So I'm just going to let that dry tonight. I think I had enough for tonight. It's my first day with this stuff, and I think I did pretty good for one day with it, the LEDs and painting. It's not done, but I did a good step on one day one.
Now here's a completed, finished painting. I just skipped over to the finished product. Lighting's kind of dim, sorry about that. So yeah, I did lots of silver in there and some grays. And the round parts I did with some greens. Pretty easy model to paint. Now we're gonna lock those wires in with some crazy glue and some putty. this actually. Usually I use the hand cream there. Put it on the tools so the putty doesn't stick to the tool, so it makes it easy to spread. And I'm just doing a flat, like scaly pattern throughout the whole thing. I kind of liked how this turned out actually. I might go back and do my other models bases just like this. But you do use a lot of putty. Nowadays the putty's you get very little putty for what you spend nowadays. Back in the day you'd get a whole roll for 20 bucks. That would last you a long time. Now, another good thing about the putty is when you're using your little crystals, your sprue crystals there, you can just crazy glue them right in the putty, and that's going to be solid. With my other models, I just glued them right to the base, and so a lot of times they'll pop off if you hold them with your hands or something like that. This way they're going to be secured there really well. Now we're gonna paint the base. Just gonna use a medium gray there. Crystals I did green, and there's just base coated crystals and base, and here's the finished product after washing and dry brushing. So she's almost done. Just got to get to the LED. Oh no, we still got the purple shields to put on there. So I painted them purple, and the LED is going to be underneath it, so I figured drill through these little vents there so you can kind of see the light from the top of the model.
Okay, now we're just going to finish. We're on the last stretch now. We're just going to add the battery pack. But we also need to put a resistor in there. And what a resistor does is just limits the current flow in the circuit. So it uses less power and stuff. So this battery pack, these button cells have about 200 milliamp hours in there. So LEDs, you can run them like 20 milliamps. But with these new LEDs, they stay bright even with very little current in them. You could even run them as low as 3 milliamps. But then it starts to get really dim. So that's the thing, the more milliamps, the brighter it is. But we're going to see. So, I got about a 380 ohm resistor in there right now. I'm going to turn it on. I got it running through my amp meter. So we're looking at 7 milliamps. Going up to 8. See, as it changes color, it uses different voltage drops. So we got 8 milliamps, give or take, right? So 8 milliamps into 200 milliamp hours, you're looking at 25 or 25 hours that will run, which is, 6 games, I would say, which is okay, but we could do better than that. Just notice the brightness, because that's usually when you lower the milliamps, usually it gets dimmer, but that's pretty bright. So let's change the resistor. In this one, I'm going to put around double that, so it's around 700 to 800 resistor. And let's see what we got. You can see you double it, and it cuts the milliamps in half. So like with 4 milliamps, we're going to be looking at around 50 hours that thing is going to run, which double the game, so you're looking at 12 games. 12 games, and look at the brightness. Still pretty good. I think I'm going to settle for that. Yeah, I'm going to settle for that. Okay, so now I got my resistor. So now I just got to solder it and glue it to the bottom. I'm just going to crazy glue this to the thing. Make sure I could access the batteries. Yeah. And I could use the accelerant. Maybe I will use some accelerant. I don't like this stuff. It stinks, it's really bad for you, but it does get the glue on there. It sets really quick. Better to use that stuff outside.
Okay, the next bit of footage was kind of out of frame on the camera, so I couldn't really use it. So basically I just soldered the LED and to the red wire, and I soldered the black wire, and I just hot glued it to the bottom of the base.
Okay, there's the finished product. Not bad, eh? You can't see the wires as easy. For those people who are complaining about how I did my wires at my last job. So, from now on I'm going to try to hide them a little bit better. So, now let's turn the beast on. Okay, now I guess we gotta see it without turn the lights off. think we need to go pitch black. Because you've seen my other army in the pitch black. The rest of my army. Okay, well, let's go put this thing away. Give it a place. The rest of my army. There we go. That's one from the box. The next I think I'm doing those destroyers, I think. So stay tuned for that one. Thank you for watching. Subscribe and like. More to come. Bye now.